Greetings, gardeners. Hey, I was online. I posted a picture of or a video of a wren singing in my garden yesterday, and Della asked if I could show the rest of the garden. So I'm going to do that right now. I figured I'd start over here at just outside the main garden at my sweet potatoes. And that's actually in my front walkway right there. Pretty plants I got right there. But you can see sweet potatoes. These are purple Japanese sweet potatoes. When they start coming over like this, and they get real long runners, I just take, I don't know if you can see, it was a runner just right along here. Just dig down, stick some dirt over it, it'll grow potatoes right there. So anywhere you see runners, you can do that. And we got some rosemary up here. It did the same thing with the rosemary. See how these long stems are coming like this? Put it down, make new plants. I've got some longevity spinach doing pretty well up here. That was really small just the other day. I don't know if you can hear it, but everybody's doing lawn maintenance in the neighborhood this morning. So this is my garden. And you can see some bunching onions are blooming really well. I've already collected a whole bunch of, like, so many seeds. And this first little bed is my cilantro. You can see I've harvested a bunch, and then parsley. And then this is a grape tomato. You can see it's got some good grape tomatoes all over it. Over here on the other side is, we got some baby onions right there, but then some oregano growing along in here, and then some of the mesclun has escaped over into, this, mesclun is just, this whole bed right here is all mesclun, and then one tomato, that's actually one of my compost tomatoes. I have no idea what it is. Then that's a Mizuna that's in flower right there. It's gonna make a whole bunch of seeds. You can see, I just harvested yesterday from this, and you can see I've got some transplants in there. That's actually Egyptian spinach. Where's the other one? It's in here somewhere. Oh, right there. And those will get like 6 feet high. And I started them over here in this bed. This is just a mixture of a whole bunch of things. It looks like it's all beans, but it's a whole bunch of different things. So you can see some Egyptian spinach there, some okra there. Egyptian spinach is all in there. There's various peppers that are in here. You can see Florida broadleaf mustard that I harvested probably 2 pounds of it yesterday from there. There's some mixtures of parsley and basil in there. Over here, you see this? All under there I had red striped amaranth. And there's something in my garden that loves to eat it. As you can see, all this southern giant mustard. This is all this stuff right here. That just came up on its own, as did this melon. So I think it's a melon. It's either a melon or a squash. I'm just not sure yet. I'll have to see. And then there's some other interesting things that just came up outside the bed. You can see there's some peppers that are growing in there, along with some other weeds and stuff. I redid all these beds this year. Last year I did not plant, but this year I had to come through and take all the weeds out. This is a arugula, and it's in flower, going to seed. There's some Swiss chard in there that, like I said, I just harvested. That's rattlesnake beans all the way up that trellis. This is blue kale in here, along with some sort of frilly lettuce that was came back from some other planting. This is red kale in here. I just harvested a bunch from that. This is another tomato. You can see some tomatoes in there. Then these are bell peppers and the tomato that's just coming up from the compost. More rattlesnake beans. That's the one that the bird was on yesterday. That's a shishito pepper. You can see some peppers in there. Another volunteer salad right there. And these are sweet peppers. I don't know what the difference between those and those are, but they've already produced. They're already producing. You can see. Then these over here are banana peppers. You can see these guys are almost ready to go. And more mustard. Then on this side, you can see these guys. These are Nam Tao Yao. And I'm about to start training them to go up. You can see they're already starting to grab hold. I don't even know if I have to train them, but some of them I will, it looks like. Some more salad that's just running over there. And we've got jalapenos. It's about ready to go. I just had to stake these because after that storm. These are habaneros. You can see a whole bunch going on there. These are Anaheim peppers. So this is the spicy peppers. I need probably 10 more of these beds, honestly. And that's the sweet peppers over there. Then we've got some sort of volunteer. Not sure what it is, but it's pretty. But then these are okra plants. And then some, see, volunteer tomato there. More rattlesnake beans going up that trellis. This was an unsuccessful bed of turnips. I have no idea why they didn't go, but I redid it, re-fertilized with good stuff. And then I transplanted Egyptian spinach over here. These plants will get 6 feet tall and provide lots of salad. As you can see, here's a tomato in here, and then more rattlesnake beans. As you can see underneath here, they're about ready to start harvesting. They're so good. These were the successful turnips that I didn't plant them in this bed, but this is my basil bed. You can see lots and lots of sweet basil in there, almost ready to start harvesting. Another tomato in the middle. And those are velvet beans. And those are an experiment to see if I can get them to go. But you can see they're way less vigorous than all these rattlesnake beans, which love the heat. You can grow these all through the heat. These are all compost tomatoes right here. I took out of my compost and put into the pots. I'll go in the garden somewhere. Another big, beautiful tomato. The tomatoes are starting to get going. This is a mixed basil plat. There's sweet basil in here. There's giant leaf basil in here, and there's Thai basil in here. This is Society garlic. Got some more of that over there, along with some mint. These are transplants, trying to root those what do you call that? Rosemary. More mint all through here. This is oregano that came back. That is Okinawa spinach. That is longevity spinach. That's a scuppernong that I rooted. Different kinds of mint in here. This big tall one, I honestly don't know what it's called. It's very minty, very nice. It looks like catnip, but it's not. It's minty. This regular mint there. There's some bee balm in there that I've been using in teas. This over here is lemon balm. that I've been using in teas as well. I just fertilized all these beds with some really nasty, what one of the YouTubers I watch calls fetid swamp water. It was just rabbit manure tea. It was super, super manure-y. I think I already showed you this oregano over here. This beautiful, like I harvested on that side of the mesclun bed. I did not harvest on this side. You can see all these different lettuces. This stuff is so good. And you come in here, this is actually, this one bean right here is different. That's a lima bean that my daughter started growing at school, and she brought it home, so we put it into the garden. Underneath here, you see these, that little, let's see if I can't get it. Let's do a little weeding on them here. See that little guy right there? That, each one of these beds, another one there, that is Malabar spinach, which each one of these beds right in here, underneath these beans, I have multiples planted that if one of them takes off per bed, it will be enough to cover this whole bed with greenery that will last all summer long. But you can see my rattlesnake beans are making their way up. There's another kind of bean over here that I didn't think was making it, so I planted over them with rattlesnake beans, and now the rattlesnake beans are, they took off, and then the rattlesnake beans are now doing more than them, so we'll see if they make it. Let's see. I had some, see, that right there will take off and take over just this whole bed, this whole side over each one of these trellises. It'll come up 3 or 4 feet and make beautiful greens all summer long. Let's see. Same thing. Each one of these I have underneath there, underneath these beans, more of that Malabar spinach because it's so good and it beats the heat. But these are the Namtal Yaos, which will grow all the way up over, and they'll make these gourds that are used like cucumbers. They taste just like cucumbers, and they kind of shaped like them as well. Then, let's see. This is my corn bed, which of course I planted other stuff in it too. You can see the armadillos have been getting in it. These are all bush beans along the side. And then my corn, we had a big storm recently, and my corn was all laid down. And so I put up these stakes to get them to come back up because I didn't want them to be ruined. And you can see I just took some twine, just twist it over, twist it and hold it, and it just holds them up where it's supposed to be. And there's some okra in here as well. So that's the main garden. Let's see. What I want to do is to cover all this, move this boat up over here, cover all this as well with garden. It would be fantastic. Over here we have I planted this lemon tree that I've been abusing for like 2 or 3 years. I planted it took off, and then of course in the compost that I used to plant it, up came a tomato. So I've got a tomato and lemon. Oh, let's see. I forgot about these guys. A couple of years ago, I got a couple of tiny ice cream bananas. These guys get really tall. I don't know if I planted them in a good spot for them. It may be too wet for them here. Honestly, it's very, very wet down here. But these guys are, you can see they're 4.5, 5 feet tall now. They didn't They froze back, of course, but I've been fertilizing them and babying them. I might have to move them again, but I would love to have some ice cream bananas. I'm gonna go over to the other side of the yard and show you one more little project in a second. So we're going out to the pond side of the yard. You can see I've got I'm cleaning my rabbit tractor, getting all the stuff out of there. That's where the swamp water came from, right there. Yummy stuff. But I built a trellis last year for my scuppernongs. I planted right there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the flowers now or not, but you can see this trellis is going. They come all the way up here. There's gonna be so many scuppernongs here. And I've got another scuppernong coming up this. The little guy's working pretty well. And then my blueberries are just loaded. Because this whole year, I've been bringing rabbit manure over here to them and feeding them. And they're just super happy with my decision to do that. You see all these berries in here? Look at that cluster of berries. They love the rabbit manure. So this year I think I'm gonna try and, good night, look at all of them. I can't wait for these guys to ripen up. So I'm over here next to the blueberries, of course. I saw a thing recently about the history of Mexico City, and how when the Aztecs were ruling it, you know, it was this huge agricultural complex there, right? Shallow lake, and they redid the lake, and they brought in all these trees, and they built up islands. They dug out the canals and used the mud from the lake as their growing medium. And there's some of that still exists there. Most of it's, you know, Mexico City's taken over, and it's not a huge lake anymore, but on the south side of it, there's still some of that there. And they say it's like 1,000-year reserve of nutrients. Like, they don't have to do anything because of what the Aztecs did. They still are planting and still are getting stuff out of it. And it's just like the best soil in the world. And all I can think is, I have a pond, right? I have a pond right here that I could do the same sort of thing, because there's all sorts of good mud down in there. Let me show you. So here's the blueberries. And you know, if I could get in there and get that mud out of there, it would be a sloppy job, but you know, there's so much nutrients that have just been collecting in this pond for decades that we could use in the garden. What a, yeah, I want to try it. So that's the garden, and that's my future muddy plans.